Hi, Stephanie. Thanks so much for coming in today. Did you? So my name's Ashley, and I am a counselor here at the Addictions Clinic. Did you have any issues logging in with the Zoom link or anything like that?
Not really, no. It was pretty easy to get to.
Good. So how are you? How are you doing today? How are you feeling today?
I'm all right. I'm just a little nervous, but
Just a little nervous. Okay.
yeah.
So really today all it is so it's an addiction, it's an assessment. Um and we're just gonna kind of get the goal really is for me to get to know you and us to work together to hopefully develop a plan to kind of support you in any issues that you might be having. So what brought you in today?
My CPS worker told me to come in.
Okay. So why do you think your CPS worker told you to come into the addiction clinic today?
Well, my neighbor called and he's concerned about my kids. So he called the CPS worker.
Okay. Um, what were his kind of concerns about your kids?
Well, I'm drinking a couple days a week and he's concerned for their safety, so
Okay. Okay. Do you think drinking is like an issue for you?
um not really
Not
right
really.
now. No.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna ask you, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol right now?
No.
No. So we're just gonna kind of go through the assessment. I'll ask you some questions, and you just answer the best that you can. Okay? Okay. So what's kind of been going on?
Um I've been drinking a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like how often?
Like 5 days a week.
5 days a week. Okay. Um, is this like a new
I
thing?
take Sunday off for the Lord.
Pardon?
I take Sunday off for the Lord.
Okay. Um, is the drinking kind of like a new thing, or you always kind of had an issue?
Um, well, I stopped drinking while I was pregnant,
Okay.
and then I kind of started back up again.
Okay. So, how many children do you have?
I have two,
You have two children. Okay. So, how old are they?
7 and they're 4.
Okay. So, were you kind of drinking before the birth of both children?
Yes.
So, kind of like a chart here, to maybe talk about more specifically some of the problems you've been experiencing. So, have you ever used um any recreational drugs or any other drugs or just alcohol?
I have in the past, yes.
Okay, what have you used in the past? Occasionally
Cocaine
pot
and marijuana.
and marijuana. Okay. So are you currently using cocaine?
No, not right now.
Not right now. Okay. What about marijuana? Are you using that at all?
Here and there.
Here and there. Okay. So, at what age did you first start drinking? Do you remember? Or how to drink? Like, what age do you think you started there?
14.
14. Okay. And when was the last day that you had a drink?
Um, 2 days ago.
2 days ago. Okay. So, so you said you drink about 5 days a week, 5 to 6 days a week, eh?
Yeah.
When you're drinking, are you drinking a couple drinks? Are you drinking all day? Are you binge drinking? What does that look like?
Um, I'll have about maybe a half case of beer a night, maybe,
Okay.
and then a couple coolers.
Okay. So are you mostly drinking alone? Are you drinking with other people?
Mostly by myself.
By yourself. Okay. How many drinks on average do you think that you drink a week?
Mm, Probably like average, like it's in between like 5 and 6 a night, maybe,
5 and 6.
maybe even like 7.
Okay. Okay. So now we're gonna move on to cannabis. So what was the age that you first started using cannabis?
I was 13.
13. Okay. Do you remember how long ago was the last time you used cannabis?
A couple hours ago.
A couple hours ago. Okay. And how often would you say that you're using it? Like maybe how many times a week would you say you're using cannabis?
Um, Maybe like 10 or 15 times a week
10 or 15
between
times.
all the days.
Okay. Um, how much would you be consuming? Like a joint, like a gram?
Maybe like 2.
2 grams per time?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Um, are you mostly smoking like in the morning, at night, or just periodically throughout the day?
I like to do it once in the morning and then before I go to bed.
Okay.
Usually, sometimes a couple in one in between.
Okay. And is it just kind of every day during the week, or is it doesn't matter what day, weekends, weekday?
During the week, a lot more on the weekends, I'd say.
Okay. So now I'm gonna move on to cocaine. Um, when was the last time, or when was at what age did you first started using cocaine?
I think I was around 15 or 16.
15 or 16? Okay. And when was the last time you used cocaine?
Um, 4 years ago.
Okay. So when you were using it, were you like frequently using it or
Yeah, I'd say so.
okay, so how many times a week do you think you were using cocaine?
2 times a week.
Okay. And were you using it the weekdays, weekends,
Mostly on weekends with friends, I guess.
with friends? Okay.
And with Jeff as well.
Okay. And who's Jeff?
He is my baby's father.
Okay. So your oldest child or your youngest child there?
He's my oldest.
Your oldest.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and do you have a lot of contact with him still?
No, I don't.
No, okay. Does your son there,
Is he there?
does he have contact frequently with?
No.
No, okay. All right, Stephanie, so now I'm going to do an assessment here specifically on um, concerns kind of around your drinking. They're just more specific questions to go into, and they're all yes or no questions, okay? So do you feel you are a normal drinker?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Have you ever awoken the morning after some drinking the night before and found that you could not remember part of the evening before?
Sometimes.
Does your partner ever worry about your drinking?
No, I don't have a partner.
You don't have a partner. Okay.
No.
Can you stop drinking without a struggle after one or two drinks?
Um, no,
No.
it's kind of hard.
It's kind of hard. Okay. Do you ever feel bad about your drinking?
Sometimes, not always.
Okay. Um, do your friends or relatives think that your drinking's normal?
No,
No.
they're kind of against it.
They're kind of against it there. Okay. Um, do you ever try to limit your drinking to certain times of the day or certain places?
Um, I yes. Um, at home, I try not to do it in front of people who don't support it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or at work.
Or at work. Okay. Okay. Um, are you always able to stop drinking when you want to?
Not always.
Not always. Okay. Have you ever attended an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting?
No, I have not.
Okay. Have you ever gotten into a fight when you were drinking?
Yeah.
Okay. Has drinking ever created problems with yourself and maybe an ex-partner?
At times, yes.
Okay. Has your partner or another family member ever gone to anyone for help with your drinking?
No.
No. Have you ever lost friends or partners because of your drinking?
Um, a few.
A few. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten in trouble at work because of your drinking?
I have before, yes.
Okay. Have you ever lost a job because of drinking?
I have not.
Have you ever neglected your obligations, your family, or your work for more than 2 days in a row because of your drinking?
Yes, I have before.
Do you ever drink before noon?
Yes.
Yes. Have you ever been told you have liver trouble?
No.
No. Okay. Um, have you ever gone to anyone for help with your drinking?
No.
No. Have you ever been in a hospital because of your drinking?
No.
No. Have you ever been a patient in a psychiatric hospital or in a psychiatric ward of a general hospital where drinking was part of the problem?
No.
Have you ever been arrested, even for a few hours, because of drunk behavior?
When I was younger, yes. But yeah.
Not recently there.
No.
Um, and have you ever been arrested for drunk driving?
No.
Okay. So that kind of completes that specific part of the assessment. The addictions portion of the assessment. We're gonna cut that part. We're gonna cut a couple parts. So that completes the specifics about the drinking. So now I kind of just want to get to know you and what's going on in your life. Um, so maybe start by telling me a little bit about yourself and your family. So where are you from?
I'm from Truro, Nova Scotia.
Truro, Nova Scotia. Okay. Um, so you have two kids there, right?
Yes,
Okay. Um,
two boys.
two boys. Okay. You said they were 4 and 7, eh?
Yeah.
And so you previously spoke about Jeff, your oldest son's father. Um, what about your youngest father? Is he in the picture?
Um, Sometimes, yeah. He's a truck driver, so he leaves town lots.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's pretty inconsistent there, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, he's probably pretty busy. Okay. Um, so do you have any siblings?
I have a sister.
You have a sister. Okay. Are you close with her?
Yes.
Okay. Um, you guys spend a lot of time together?
Yeah, she's always helps with the boys. She's a really big help to me, so
Okay,
yeah.
good. What about parents?
They actually died a few years back.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. Um, so has anyone else in your family struggled with substance use?
My mom did in the past, yes, before she died, yeah.
Okay.
She died of alcohol abuse.
She died of alcohol use.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Do you have a current partner, Stephanie?
I don't.
You don't. Okay. Do you have a history of depression or mental illness in your family?
Depression.
Okay.
My dad had depression.
Okay.
My dad's whole side actually is pretty had a lot of issues there.
Okay. Um, so Jeff, how long were you together with Jeff?
We were together for 4 years.
For 4 years. Okay. And so he's the father of your oldest son. And what's your oldest son's name?
Carson.
Carson. Okay. Um, you had mentioned during the assessment, or that you had been using cocaine kind of when you were together with Jeff.
Mhm.
Um, was that kind of something that you guys did a lot together, like drinking and stuff? How was your guys' relationship?
Yeah, I'd say we that's kind of how we got along. Like we bonded over partying and the alcohol and the cocaine abuse.
Okay.
Uh, yeah.
Just taking some notes here. Mhm.
Yeah, that's kind of why we're not together.
Okay. So you said that you kind of were drinking before your first pregnancy?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Were you ever drinking during your pregnancy?
Maybe a bit. Not too much, but um, maybe a little bit. It worries me.
It worries you.
Yeah.
Okay, just kind of about your son.
Yeah, I don't want it to affect him or
Okay.
yeah.
Um, so you're with Jeff for 4 years. And then how long were you together with Rick?
We were together for 2 years.
For 2 years, okay. Did he have any issues with drugs or alcohol?
No, he did not.
Okay. And were you using during that pregnancy?
No, it wasn't.
No, okay. Okay. So where are you guys currently living?
We're living in Halifax
In
right now.
Halifax, okay. In an apartment or a house?
Yeah, we live in an apartment in Fairview.
Fairview, okay. How long have you been living there?
About a year now.
A year now, okay. Do you like where you currently live?
I do, yeah. I'd rather live in a house, but it's
Right,
not really the best situation right now, so.
okay. Okay, so you mentioned that you work. Where do you work?
I work at a bar
You work at a bar.
downtown. Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been working there?
About 6 months.
6 months. Okay. Okay. Um, what's the highest level of education that you've completed?
I went to grade 10.
Went to grade 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to is that kind of your plan? You want to continue long term being a waitress at a bar?
No, I don't see it being my thing forever.
Okay. So
I kind of want to be a continuing care worker.
okay, so like working in like a nursing home?
Yeah.
Okay. What makes you want to do that?
They have good benefits
Yep.
and the money's good.
Right.
And I enjoy helping people.
Okay. Good. Um, so do you plan on going to get your high school diploma to finish that up and then going on to do continuing care assistance at school? Is that kind of your plan?
Well, I hope to one day maybe go to NSCC and get my high school and then kind of go from there.
Wow, that sounds like an awesome plan. Okay. So besides, you had mentioned your sister's kind of like a good support to you. Um, do you have any other supports in your life?
Not really, no.
Not
Um,
really. Okay.
yeah. I don't have many friends.
You don't have many friends. Okay. So I just kind of want to go back a little bit, or you had said, so you've been working at the bar for 6 months. Um, when do you ever drink at work?
Sometimes. The manager lets us have free shots, so sometimes I take them.
Okay. Um, has your drinking ever impacted your employment, like not being able to show up or being hungover when you're there?
Sometimes, but mostly I work nights, so it's when I'm hungover, I can just kind of sleep in and then
Okay.
go back to work at nighttime.
Right. And who watches your kids when you're at work?
My sister does.
Your sister does. Okay. She
Yeah.
must be a really good support then.
She is, for sure.
Awesome. Okay. Um, so how would you say you are financially?
Struggling, for
You're
sure.
struggling. Okay. Do you get any child support or any other income from your children's father?
I do, yes.
Okay.
Rick sends money, sometimes.
Okay. But not Jeff.
No.
No. Okay. Um, how much money approximately do you spend on alcohol and cannabis a week, let's say?
$300. In between $200 and $300.
Okay. Do you think the amount of alcohol and cannabis you use like contributes to your financial situation where you're struggling, or doesn't really impact it very much?
It definitely can sometimes, I think.
So tell me what you like to do. Do you have any hobbies?
Not really, no.
Okay. What do you like to do with your boys?
I take them to the local playground and they like to run around and
You
play.
like to run around and play?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're not at work, where do you spend most of your time?
I spend most of my time home.
You spend most of your time at home. Okay.
Yeah. I'm a big homebody.
Okay. I'm just gonna ask you some specific questions about I guess, your current legal situation. Do you have any pending charges or convictions, or are you on probation for anything?
At the moment, no.
Okay. So now I'm just gonna go through a kind of like a health checklist. And I'm gonna list some signs and symptoms, and you can say yes or no if you experience them. So do you ever have an inability to relax?
Sometimes.
Okay. Do you ever have difficulty sleeping?
Most nights, yeah.
Okay. Do you ever feel down or depressed?
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay. And do you ever have feelings of loneliness?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever had trouble expressing your feelings and how you feel?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Do you ever have difficulty controlling your anger?
Sometimes.
Okay. Do you ever have difficulties with relationships?
Yeah, in the past I have, yeah.
Okay. Um, and do you ever have low energy and motivation and drive to do things?
Yeah. Most of the time, yeah.
Most of the time. Okay. And do you ever feel hopeless about the future?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. So, when was your last doctor's medical exam?
Um, about maybe just over a year ago.
A year ago. Okay. And do you have any Any medical conditions or diagnoses that we should be aware of?
No, I don't.
No. Okay. Are you on any prescribed medication?
No, I'm not.
No. Okay. And have you ever been diagnosed in the past with anxiety or depression?
Yes, I have been diagnosed with depression before.
Depression, okay.
Yeah.
So I am, just where you had indicated that feeling difficulty, like feeling lonely and depressed, I am going to do a PHQ-9 square scale with you, which is just to kind of gauge you on kind of a depression scale and how much you might be struggling with that. So I'm just going to ask you some questions and you can answer not at all, several days, more than half the days, or nearly every day, okay?
Okay.
So over the last 2 weeks, how often have you been bothered by any of the following problems? So in the last 2 weeks, how often have you had little interest or pleasure in doing things?
Sorry, could you give me the options again?
Yeah, so not at all, several days, more than half the days, and nearly every day.
Say more than half the days.
Half the days, okay. And in the last 2 weeks, how often have you been feeling down, depressed, or hopeless?
Every day.
Every day, okay. And in the last 2 weeks, have you had trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or sleeping too much?
I'd say half the days.
Half the days, okay. Feeling tired or having little energy?
All of the days.
All the days, okay. Poor appetite or overeating?
Not very many days.
Okay, no.
Somewhat, but
Okay. Feeling bad about yourself or that you are a failure or have let yourself and your family down?
Most days.
Most days, okay. And trouble concentrating on things such as reading the newspaper or watching the television?
Some days.
Some days, okay. Moving or speaking so slowly that other people could have noticed, or the opposite, being so fidgety or restless that you have been moving around a lot more than usual?
A couple of the days.
A couple of the days, okay. Thoughts that you would be better off dead or hurting yourself in some way?
Not very many of those days.
Okay. So I do need to ask, Stephanie, are you actively suicidal right now?
No, I'm not.
And have you had those kind of thoughts in the last few weeks?
No. Not really, no.
Not really.
I just feel kind of alone, you know?
Okay. When you're feeling alone and kind of down, what do you usually do?
I usually drink.
Usually drink. Okay.
Mm.
If you feel like you need someone to talk to, who do you usually reach out to?
I usually reach out to my sister.
To your sister, okay. Is she pretty usually available for you to chat with?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. With your family, have you ever been physically or sexually abused as a child?
No.
No. Okay. And how was your like home life growing up with your parents?
It wasn't the best. There was a lot of fighting, and my mom was drinking a lot, so yeah.
Was it like verbal fighting or physical fights?
It's very physical.
Very physical. Okay. So, have you ever attended any type of treatment or done anything to kind of address your substance use in the past?
No, I haven't.
No, you haven't. Okay. Um, so you had indicated that you had stopped drinking for your second child's birth. How did you manage that?
I just kind of quit cold turkey.
Okay, like kind of by yourself without any support.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you find that hard to do or easy to do? How did that go for you?
It was pretty difficult.
It's pretty difficult. Okay. How soon after the birth of your second child do you think that you started drinking again?
About 6 months.
6 months. Okay. So you came in here today because your child protection worker kind of wanted you to come in and get an assessment. What do you hope to get out of this besides getting child protection that checked off their list?
I'm not really sure.
You're not really sure. Okay. So with your child protection involvement, is it just kind of an investigation right now, or
It is, yes.
and have they indicated like what's going to happen at the outcome of their investigation yet, or?
I'm not sure what's gonna happen.
Okay.
I'm just scared to lose my kids, you know?
Okay. So Stephanie, I definitely think that you might be struggling a bit with alcohol use. Do you think that alcohol is a problem for you?
I think so.
You think so? Okay. And so here at the clinic, I can recommend some treatment options. Would you be open to hearing some of the treatment recommendations that we have here at the clinic?
Sure.
Okay. So for you, I definitely think that you might benefit from some individual therapy, and possibly like a coping skills group, where maybe you can meet some other people, and you guys can learn some different coping skills together. And so what I'm gonna do here today is I'm gonna email you my number at the end of this session. And then you can call me anytime you want. And once we're done here, I'm just going to kind of summarize everything that we had talked about in your assessment. And then talk to my team about maybe a more formalized case plan, and then I'll chat with you about it.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
I don't think so.
So, okay, perfect. Thanks so much, Stephanie.
Thank you.